Don't let YouTube decide what information you get. That's your choice. YouTube is deleting our videos and cuts you off from a source of honest reporting. Make sure you don't lose access to NTD's news content, and take a quick moment to subscribe to our newsletter so no matter what happens here, you'll keep your access to a trustworthy news source.
People are losing their jobs for turning down the vaccine, but have you heard of a mother losing custody of her child for being unvaccinated? NTD's Miguel Moreno has the story of a parent who's experienced this firsthand. Fortunately, it did not last long.
A Chicago judge has reportedly reversed his ruling after being put under the media spotlight. Rebecca Furlet no longer has to vaccinate against COVID-19 to see her son. In what could have been the first case of its kind in the U.S., Furlet initially lost custody of him because she wasn't vaccinated. And Judge James Shapiro said the mother couldn't see her son until she was. Here's the mother's lawyer telling Fox 32 why she believes the judge overstepped his bounds.
The father did not even bring this issue before the court. So it's the judge on his own making this decision that you can't see your child until you're vaccinated.
Furlet told the judge she hasn't been vaccinated because of bad reactions she's had to vaccines. According to the Chicago Sun-Times, the judge didn't say why he walked back his decision in the new order. He only said, "This court hereby vacates paragraph 3 of its order based on the absence of a pleading or hearing on serious endangerment." The mother told the Sun-Times she's extremely happy with the decision, but the father's attorney called the decision unfortunate, and they are working on an emergency order to fight it. Miguel Moreno, NTD News.
A United States Marine officer who called out military leadership for perceived mistakes in Afghanistan in a video that has now gone viral has announced his resignation from the Marines. He was previously relieved of his command over the video, and he's still asking for accountability from military leadership. NTD's Jason Perry gives us the details.
Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Scheller says the U.S. military should have kept open Bagram Air Base and used it for evacuating everyone. But instead, they left the strategic air base and performed the evacuation operations at Hamid Karzai International Airport, where 13 troops were recently killed in a suicide bombing. Scheller had a personal relationship with one of the Marines killed in the attack.
Today, after 17 years, I'm currently not pending legal action. And I could stay in the Marine Corps for another 3 years, but I don't think that's the path I'm on. I'm resigning my commission as a United States Marine, effective now. I'm sure there's some more admin on how I'm supposed to do that, and I'll work through that. But I am forfeiting my retirement on entitlements. I don't want a single dollar.
He says what you believe can only be defined by what you're willing to risk. Scheller believes if the senior leadership is held accountable, it would do wonders for those suffering from PTSD and for those still wondering if their buddies died for nothing.
The morning after I posted my video and I came into work, my boss came in and he asked me, "What were you trying to accomplish?" And that was a very tough question for me. And my response was, I want senior leaders to accept accountability. I think them accepting accountability would do more for service members in PTSD and struggling with purpose than any other transparent piece of paper or message.
Scheller says if the leadership would just say that mistakes were made, he would go back rank and file and complete his service in the Marines. He wants others to know what Marines go through and that they deserve more transparency from their leadership.
Those people who are there every day and don't get to leave the next morning or in the middle of the night, who go outside the wire, get blown up, bring their Marine back, and then go back out there the next day, they don't get the credit they deserve, and they deserve accountability.
Scheller said he has big plans for the future, but he did not specify what those plans are. Back to you, Steph.
Athletes who win a gold medal at the Olympic Games often become household names back in their hometowns. A New Jersey native won not one, but 2 gold medals in Tokyo, and her city held an event in her honor.
She's a runner, she's a track star, and now she is a celebrity in her hometown. Mo is the first American woman since 1968 to win gold in the 800 meters race. She says it's a dream come true.
When people ask me what I want to do in the future, what my goals were, I said I want to be an Olympian, I want to be a professional athlete, and I'm here now.
She was born and raised in Trenton, the capital of New Jersey. City officials, fans, and friends all came out to celebrate her victory. She received a check of $10,000 and 2 keys to the city from the mayor. But it seemed like her brother was the only one to know what she really wanted.
Y'all know that she loves pugs, okay?
Oh, that is so sweet. Hey, John Harmon, she crying over a dog, you gave her $10,000.
Asing's parents immigrated from Sudan to the United States in 2000. She was born in Trenton 2 years later.
Some California universities are allowing student attendance growth beyond capacity. After a recent court ruling, one of the universities will soon limit their student enrollment. Here's NTD's Eileen Ang with more.
A judge in Alameda County ordered University of California, Berkeley to freeze its enrollment, saying the school needs to study the physical impacts with more students admitted. The school has seen an increase of 33.7%, or over 11,000 students attending per year, from 2005 to 2020. The school will need to keep enrollment numbers at 2020 to 2021 levels until they have complied with the judge's ruling. This ruling comes after Save Berkeley's Neighborhoods, a nonprofit organization, filed a lawsuit in July. They allege that UC Berkeley violated the California Environmental Quality Act with increased enrollment well beyond the growth projected in the 2005 EIR without conducting further environmental review. The school will now also have to stop its development and housing projects. In an emailed statement to NTD, a spokesperson said they are optimistic to file documents that will satisfy the judgment and confident the court will allow them to proceed with one of the projects. In a recently approved development plan, the school also does not expect student growth to exceed 1% annually. In Southern California, UC San Diego is seeing a similar problem with more students. One of the impacts of too many students is a lack of housing. One parent took it to Facebook to ask about an RV park near UCSD because their friend's son can't find housing.
We're finding it extremely difficult to find something, anything, let alone something affordable. My son isn't planning to have a vehicle, so it really needs to be someplace where he can access the bus line. So really anything within 15 minutes of campus.
According to a spokesperson for UCSD, about 1,670 undergraduates are on the housing waitlist. Due to the pandemic situation, they have removed triple housing options, eliminating about 2,000 beds. With less students on campus, they would need to find more housing off campus.
We're hearing reports of students renting living room space. So they're just kind of putting up a little curtain or partition in the living room, and they're renting living room space for $1,000 a month. And there's, these apartments that are really meant for maybe 2 people. They're cramming 4 or 5 people in there. And so for me, that presents more of a COVID risk than had they just been able to be on campus with regulations in place.
Breton said students are looking into places an hour away for a place to live. She finds the resources the school provides unhelpful because they're too basic and they are already doing what's suggested. Eileen Ang, NTD News, California.
French authorities are warning that their COVID vaccination pass will likely be extended, and thousands of Parisians took to the streets on Saturday to protest. NTD's David Vives has the story.
Thousands of people took to the streets of Paris on Saturday to protest against France's COVID-19 health pass. It's now required for daily activities such as entering restaurants, commercial centers or cinemas. Some protesters also demonstrated against the mandatory vaccination. Others spoke out against the vaccination for children. The COVID vaccine will soon be pushed inside schools.
I came to demonstrate for my children. I am a mother. I am still very young. I need freedom. So does my child. The children's future is the most important thing to me.
There were 160,000 protesters across the nation, according to the Interior Minister, 490,000 according to a police union. Protesters are also calling out the mainstream media, accusing them of bias.
We will not give up. We will demonstrate, always peacefully. You know the saying, when the lie takes the elevator, the truth takes the stairs. It will take longer to arrive, but it will arrive.
Starting Monday, the health pass is now extended to all employees in restaurants and cultural venues. And the measures will become more strict this month, with the forced vaccination of healthcare workers. Some protesters believe the grassroots protests will continue to grow, though the government says turnout has decreased by 55,000 people over the past 2 weeks. David Vives, NTD News, Paris.
Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Don't forget to catch all of our programs on TV. NTD Evening News is on every weekday at 6:30 p.m. Find your local NTD channel at ntd.com/TV.